My name is Sophia, and I'm 42 years old now. For the longest time, my life felt like a gentle stream, steady, predictable, and filled with quiet joys. I had a loving husband, two amazing children, and a home that echoed with laughter. It wasn't extravagant, but it was ours, and that was enough. Little did I know how fragile that peace could be, how one unexpected storm could upend everything. I first met my husband, Michael, when I was just 22. He was 30 at the time, already established in his career as an architect, with a quiet confidence that drew me in like a moth to a flame. Michael wasn't the flashy type. He was thoughtful, with warm brown eyes that seemed to see right through to my soul. He had this way of making me feel seen and valued, even on my worst days. We met at a local bookstore. I was browsing for novels to escape into, and he was picking up blueprints for a new project. He struck up a conversation about my favorite authors, and before I knew it, we were sharing coffee at the cafe next door. Our courtship was sweet and unhurried. Michael took me on picnics in the park where we'd talk for hours about our dreams. He encouraged me to pursue my passion for painting, something I'd set aside during college. "Sophia," he'd say, his voice steady and reassuring, "you have a gift. Don't let the world dim it." We got married 2 years later in a small ceremony by the lake, surrounded by close family and friends. My dress was a simple ivory gown with lace details, and Michael looked so handsome in his gray suit, his tie a soft blue to match the water behind us. As we exchanged vows, I remember thinking, this is forever. Life after marriage was a beautiful rhythm. We bought a cozy house in the suburbs, with a big backyard where we planted a garden together. Michael designed an addition to the house, a sunroom where I could paint while watching the birds. Our first child, Ethan, arrived 3 years into our marriage. He was a bundle of energy from day one, with Michael's curly hair and my green eyes. 2 years later, Mia joined us, a sweet girl with an infectious giggle and a love for stories. Ethan is 12 now, a budding soccer star who's always tinkering with gadgets, and Mia is 9, with a vivid imagination that turns every rainy day into an adventure. Michael was the anchor of our family. He worked hard but always made time for us. Family dinners, weekend hikes, bedtime stories. He taught me everything about managing our finances and even involved me in his architectural firm, saying, "Sophia, knowledge is power. One day you might need to steer the ship." I admired his foresight, though I never imagined I'd have to use it so soon. Then, one crisp autumn evening, everything shattered. We were hosting a barbecue for Michael's colleagues to celebrate landing a major contract, a new community center he'd designed. The air was filled with the scent of grilled burgers and the sound of laughter. Michael was in high spirits, flipping steaks and telling jokes, but midway through he paused, clutching his chest. "Just indigestion," he muttered, waving off my concern. His face paled, and he sat down heavily on a chair. I urged him to see a doctor, but he insisted he was fine, not wanting to spoil the party. That night, as we lay in bed, he turned to me and said, "Sophia, I love you more than words can say." I smiled, thinking it was just his romantic side shining through. But hours later, I woke to him gasping for breath. His hand was cold in mine. I called 911, screaming for help, but by the time the paramedics arrived, his heart had given out. A massive heart attack, they said. He was only 45. The world blurred into a haze of grief. Our home, once so full of life, felt empty and echoing. The months that followed were a blur of tears and numbness. Ethan and Mia clung to me, their little faces etched with confusion and fear. "Mommy, when is Daddy coming back?" Mia asked one night, her voice trembling. I held them close, but inside I was crumbling. I barely ate, rarely left the house. The architectural firm struggled without Michael, and bills piled up. Friends checked in, but their words felt distant, like echoes in a vast canyon. One rainy afternoon, while sorting through Michael's desk, I found a sealed envelope addressed to me in his neat handwriting. My hands shook as I opened it. The letter read, "My dearest Sophia." If you're reading this, it means I'm gone too soon. I don't want to leave you, but life has its own plans. You've always been my rock, even when you didn't realize it. Be strong for Ethan and Mia. They need your light. Don't hide away, embrace the world. Paint those canvases, laugh those laughs. Find joy again, my love. You deserve it. I'll be watching over you always. With all my heart, Michael. His words pierced through my fog. I wept, but for the first time it wasn't just sorrow, it was resolve. I wiped my tears and got out of bed. The next day, I dove into the firm, learning the ropes from Michael's partners. I balanced spreadsheets, met with clients, and slowly the business stabilized. At home, I focused on the kids, helping Ethan with his science projects, reading fairy tales to Mia. We planted a tree in the backyard in Michael's memory, and watching it grow became a symbol of our healing. 5 years passed in a whirlwind of routines and small victories. I avoided romance entirely, convinced my heart was too scarred to love again. Michael was my one and only, I'd tell myself, but fate, as it often does, had other ideas. I decided to join a community art class to reignite my painting passion. It was there I met Alina, a vibrant woman with a knack for watercolors. We bonded over shared techniques and coffee breaks. One evening, she invited me to a gallery opening hosted by her brother, Daniel. I hesitated. Social events still felt daunting, but Alina insisted. You need this, Sophia. A night out with colors and creativity. Daniel was 34, with a rugged charm that caught me off guard. He had tousled dark hair, hazel eyes that sparkled with mischief, and broad shoulders from his work as a landscape photographer. He greeted me with a warm handshake and a genuine smile. Alina talks about your paintings all the time, he said. I'd love to see them someday. I blushed, feeling a flutter I hadn't experienced in years. As the evening unfolded, Daniel and I chatted about art, travel, and life's quirks. He was 8 years younger than me, which made me self-conscious. He's probably just being polite, I thought. But over the next few weeks, he reached out, inviting me to photography walks, sharing tips on capturing light in my paintings. He was funny, with a dry wit that made me laugh until my sides ached, and kind, always asking about Ethan and Mia. One sunny afternoon, during a hike in the hills, he opened up about his past. He'd lost his fiancée in a car accident 3 years ago, a pain that mirrored my own. It changes you, he said softly, staring at the horizon. But it doesn't have to define you. I shared about Michael, the kids, the letter. He listened without judgment, his hand gently squeezing mine. Sophia, you're incredible. The way you've rebuilt, it's inspiring. Doubts crept in. What would people say about the age difference? Would Ethan and Mia accept him? And Michael, would I be betraying his memory? Daniel was patient, never pressuring. We took things slow, casual dinners, park outings with the kids. To my surprise, Ethan warmed to him quickly. Mom, Daniel knows all about drones. Can he help me build one? Mia adored his stories, giggling as he described far-off adventures through his lens. As months turned into a year, our bond deepened. Daniel helped with the firm, offering fresh ideas for designs inspired by his photos. He cooked family meals, turning our kitchen into a hub of warmth. One starry night on our porch swing, he took my hand. Sophia, I love you, not despite your past, but because of who it's made you. Let's build a future together, me, you, Ethan, Mia. Tears welled up. I thought of Michael's letter, his wish for my happiness. I love you too, I whispered. We talked to the kids, explaining carefully. Ethan nodded thoughtfully. As long as you're happy, Mom, Mia beamed. Does this mean more adventures? We found a new home, a spacious place with a studio for my art and a darkroom for Daniel's photos. It overlooked a meadow symbolizing fresh starts. Daniel didn't replace Michael. He added new chapters. Mornings now buzz with Ethan's soccer practices, Mia's art projects, and Daniel's coffee brewing. We honor Michael with stories and photos, keeping his spirit alive. Life has taught me that loss carves deep valleys, but love can bridge them. I treasure my years with Michael, They shaped me into who I am. But with Daniel, I've rediscovered joy. Spontaneous road trips, shared sunsets, whispered dreams. Ethan thrives, mentoring younger kids in robotics, while Mia's creativity blooms, her drawings filling our walls. Daniel has become their confidant, teaching them photography and life lessons with gentle wisdom. There are still hard days, anniversaries, quiet moments when memories flood back. But now I face them with support. Daniel holds me, reminding me it's okay to feel. We've even started blending our passions. Collaborative art exhibits where my paintings meet his photos, telling stories of resilience. Looking ahead, I'm grateful. For the past that built my strength, the present that fills my heart, and a future brimming with possibility. Love isn't finite, it expands, making room for more. To anyone who's lost and afraid to love again, take that step. Life's surprises can be beautiful. Thank you for reading my story. If it resonates, share it with someone who needs hope.